Hey everyone, what is going on? It is C.A.P Gaming here. I am joined today by Dank Dan. I don't know if it's on his video if he's above me or below me, but for me, he's below me. So, today we are going to be ranking all of the zombie maps that are Treyarch. The Die Machina map is not on this list quite yet, so we'll just have to tell you guys at the end where we would rank it. And we also decided before this that we are going to only be using the original versions of each map. So, like, obviously Revelations, it's a mixture of a whole bunch of different maps put together, but it's its own original map. Same thing with I believe Mob of the Dead or Blood of the Dead, and pretty much any one that's a different version. Alpha Omega's not on here, and neither is Nuketown 2017. Those are like the only two that weren't on here. So we'll also have to say where we rank those. And also, what else did we say, Dan?
I think you might have covered everything, I think.
Okay, and if you guys want us to go back through this and do the best version of every map, because if you look at all the maps down here, so from Noct to Kino, those have been remade. From Ascension to... oh, my screen. Ascension, Shangri-La, and Moon have all been remade. Same thing with Origins. We can always go back through and re-rank where we think, like using the Black Ops 3 ones or the best versions of each map, since the Black Ops... or the World at War maps have been remade 3 times. Well, 2 times. And they were one original. So, to start it off, we have Nocturne Totem. I'm just putting it in a random spot. That's not where we're ranking it. I'm just putting it there. We're going to try and go in chronological order, because I tried arranging them in the chronological order, but I don't know if I did or not. So, Dan, your thoughts on Nocturne Totem?
So, Noct is like, how would I describe it? It's the equivalent of an old school horror film where at its time when it came out, it was revolutionary. It's literally the map that started zombies. Taking a look back at it now, it's very simplistic. I mean, the box was only in one place. There were no perks, no gobble gums. You only had the weapons off the wall, really. And if you were lucky, you got the ray gun. Training wasn't everything, and you could tell that this was just a side project. If this were years ago and I were ranking this, I would put it at the top tier. But now that we've kind of been spoiled, I wouldn't put it any higher than an A.
Yeah. So for me, I'd probably put it at a B, just because, well, I'm trying to make it to where, like, obviously this map couldn't do much. Like, if we were going by just sheer things you could do in this map, it would be an F tier, because the only thing you can do is hit the box, and there's, what, 5 doors, maybe?
There's like 4 or 5 doors, wall weapons, repair the barriers, shoot the barrels,
Yeah,
and
there's really not much to do. And I mean, this map's been remade so many times. So, like, it was remade in Black Ops 1. It was remade in Black Ops 3 in Transit.
and now it's a part of the current map.
Yep. Black Ops 3, it was part of Revelations. It was one of the main things in Revelations. So it's obviously a map that everyone loves because of how many times they bring it back. And like Dan said, for this new D Machina, it's one of the biggest, like, features of this new map. And I don't know. So I want to put it in the B tier, just because for its time it was revolutionary, but compared to a ton of the newer maps that have come out, like Black Ops 3, my golden tier for anything, like any zombies game, is Black Ops 3. That's like the perfect version of a game for me. Maybe like certain parts I'd change, but I'd probably put it at B. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I could live with B. I was going to say, like I said, I wouldn't put it anywhere above A. It's good, but it's like going back and watching an old horror film. It's like, this is what scared people back then. This was what defined being good. It's good for its time, but once we start getting into the further maps, we'll realize why it's ranked so low. It's good, but by today's standards, it's lower ranked.
And also, guys, so we're doing the maps now. One of the next ones we're going to do is probably going to be the Wonder Weapons. So I'm just giving you guys kind of a heads up. And then we'll also have different criteria for the Wonder Weapons, just because of ray gun, things like that. So for Verruckt, Dan, thoughts?
You're going to hate me for this. I have actually never played the original version of Verruckt. I only played it... Wait, did they? Was that one of the ones they remastered?
That they remastered it in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3, yeah. This was the
Okay, I definitely remember it in Black Ops 3. And that was actually the first time I played it, so I don't exactly have an opinion on it for its original version, but if I'm going based off the Black Ops 3 version and kind of running it, it's kind of meh for me. It's not good. It's not bad. It's kind of just right where it's sitting right now might actually work because it's kind
So
of forgettable.
so for me, I this was the only like when I bought World at War, this was the first map I bought. So I mean, I had other Black Ops games. So I had like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 with all the maps on those. So it's not like this map's super nostalgic for me, but I do like that they added the perks in this one. The one problem is it doesn't have, you don't have a Pack-a-Punch machine yet. Getting to high rounds on this map is really fun. It's very time consuming because it comes down to how long is it going to take for me to be able to buy this trap, because there's only 24 zombies per round.
Yeah.
At least in the original version. And I'm a high rounds person, but honestly, with how buggy World at War was, I would keep Verruckt in C tier just for the fact that I think Noct did more with less. And Verruckt's a little scarier than Noct in my opinion because of the little sounds that it makes. But I think Noct did a lot better because, like Verruckt, like I said, it was pretty much the same thing as Noct, only with like a few extra doors to open. And it did have power and perks. But if you think about it, the perks that you get don't really affect anything. Like Jug, that helps. Speed Cola, that helps. But Quick Revive didn't work in World at War. And Double Tap just made you fire faster. And Noct's a lot easier to train on, in my opinion. So that's why I'm going to put Noct above. And it was the first, so it started this whole thing. But all right, moving on to Shi no Numa.
I was gonna say this one, at the very least, in my opinion, matched Noct. I mean, it's another one of those. This is old school World at War. You know, you didn't really have Pack-a-Punch, like you said. No Pack-a-Punch. The perks were very limited. Double Tap hadn't reached his full potential, and the story hadn't quite formed at the time. At that point, it was just okay. Plays this nameless character. We hadn't really been introduced to Edward Richtofen and the rest. Was that around when they got introduced? I want to say it
I don't
was
think so.
Derice.
I think it was Derice where they were introduced. Maybe, I don't know. I think they were introduced in. I think Shi no Numa was the map they were introduced. They just didn't have any lines because I remember the picture is like Tank, Takio, Nikolai, and Richtofen. I want to say. Maybe I'm.
They were just okay. Here's a character from the campaign that we just threw in there for good measure.
Yes. Exactly.
So this one's another just forgettable one for me. It's eh.
I have, I guess, a different opinion coming from like high round standards because this was the last map in the Call of Duty franchise that only had 24 zombies per round, and you could get to like round 10,000. But the problem is, like the perk system. The perk system in World at War was god awful, and especially when we get to Derice, that we'll talk about that one in a little bit. But I've got a lot of complaints about Derice, the original one at least. But Shi no Numa, I enjoyed going high rounds on. But the problem with Shi no Numa is again, the dogs are and it introduced dogs. That's what else it did.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I wasn't sure when dogs were introduced.
I don't know if it was this map or Verruckt. I can't remember. But this is the first one that I remember them being on. But I know that because I remember the strategy was like you put bouncing Betties over here, the zombies only going to spawn over here, and then you run the dogs through there. But there's also a lot of things in this map that are really glitchy, and the perk system, I hate the perk system from World at War. That's why I hate running high rounds on World at War. So for the fact of I'm going to put it above Noct in tier B. So it's still the same tier, but I think it's better than Noct because it had a lot more. Because it introduced, like, the first real wonder weapon, not counting the ray gun.
I can live with that.
Okay. See, that's the one I was worried about ranking.
Really?
Yes. Because I have a lot of different opinions. It kind of just depends on the day for me. So,
Okay.
Derice, Dan.
Derice. Okay. This is going to be a rather tough one because this one, I think this is the one that started introducing the portals. I want to say this is when Pack-a-Punch first appeared.
Pack-a-Punch first appeared. You had the 3 teleporters.
I was going to say this.
That's it.
I think this was the step in the right direction. This was the first map that I honestly played at a friend's house. I was like, okay, I want more. I want to definitely play this over and over again. This map had replay value. It had many places that you could either A, train, or in my case, because I'm a little pansy, I would sit on this one rafter and just aim the gun down, and any zombies would just come straight in, and I just kill them. Pack-a-Punch finally made weapons viable into higher rounds, meaning that the people going for the high round runs like you could go higher, push yourselves further than you had gone before. So where I'd rank this, at lowest B, at highest maybe an A,
So
because this did a lot
I
for the
hate to
zombie.
burst your bubble,
Uh-oh.
but it was easier to get to a higher round on Noct, Verruckt, and Shinonuma than it was in Derice.
Really?
Here's why. The Pack-a-Punch Wonder
Uh-oh.
Waff. If you shot it and you got the electrocution effect, it got rid of your jug permanently for the rest of the game. And that's a glitch that happens a lot. That's why I hate running high rounds. That's like the reason that I hate Derice. I almost said Derice. But I do enjoy that they brought in Pack-a-Punch in this game. They had the first Easter egg, the Venus flytrap, where you take the Pack-a-Punch weapon and you shoot the pillars outside the map, and then you get, I can't remember. I don't remember what you get in this.
I don't remember.
It was
off the
something.
top of my head.
It was something.
Something small.
But
that was back when the Easter eggs were so tiny.
Because the first real Easter egg didn't come till, I guess Ascension had half an Easter egg, and then Call of the Dead was the first real Easter egg.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it above Noct, but below Shinonuma. I think Verruckt's, Jordan's not going to agree with that, but Verruckt is Jordan's least favorite map. I don't know why.
If Jordan could, I guarantee you he'd probably all the way down to F.
For Verruckt?
Probably for him.
He likes it. It's weird. I don't know why.
Hmm.
It's a very basic map, but so is Noct, but Noct's kind of got a special spot in my heart. Okay, Dan.
Oh, man.
Totem. Just the original version.
Lost so... Wait, are we talking the World at War version?
There is not World at War. It's Black Ops 1.
No, it was in... I could have sworn it was in World at War.
Black Ops 1. It was originally supposed to be World at War, and that's why it resembles Derice so much. But then they ended up... The map was too big for... There was too much in it for the game to... Or for the Xbox, the original Xbox to handle, so they had to wait until they moved it up to 360 before they were able to put Kino der Toten on Black Ops 1.
Okay. This one... Honestly, aside from Noct and a few others, this is one of the first maps everyone thinks of. Because let's face it, the second you're thinking of zombies, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to run Kino, I'm going to train, I'm going to go up into the nice little movie area and Pack-a-Punch my weapon. Then I'm going to go grab the MP40 off the wall. This map, I definitely remember hours playing with you and Jordan. Not to mention, even though not... What was the song that played if you did the little Easter egg? That honestly
I think it's Beauty of Annihilation. I don't know. It's either 115, Beauty of Annihilation, or...
It might be 115. It's some copyrighted thing that we can't play.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's just... this map should probably be at the top of the list, if not in the top 5 of everyone's favorite zombies lists. Hands down, this is the epitome of what zombies is.
Okay, so I want to put it in the A tier. I don't think it deserves S tier because it doesn't really have any... It's a good high round map and a good one to just play with your friends, but the thing is, it's very basic with its perks, just like World at War was. The reason I think it deserves to be an A and not in B tier with the rest of them, though, is because the Quick Revive actually works. You have Speed Cola and Jug, and then after Moon came out, you got Mule Kick on the map too. So there's 4 viable perks. This is the first map that had 4 perks that actually worked completely on solo. Then also the teleporting system to get Pack-a-Punch, super easy. This map is built for learning zombies, even more than the World at War one. And this one also has my favorite wonder weapon, like one of my favorite wonder weapons of all time, the Thunder Gun. It introduced that. So I think it deserves A just because it doesn't have much more going for it. Like it doesn't have many Easter eggs or big Easter eggs, and I'm starting to get really big into Easter eggs. I don't know why, but I want to put it in A and not S just because it has replayability, but not as much as some of the other maps, in my opinion.
Okay.
I will say the guns from Black Ops 1 are probably my favorite guns out of every Call of Duty game. Just the way they look, sound, everything.
You're not wrong there. The second Cold War was announced. Let's face it, we immediately looked back at Black Ops 1.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, Jordan's streaming.
5. Wonder what he's streaming. I have mixed feelings about this map, if I'm being perfectly honest. I mean, I love the fact that you have Castro, Nixon, Kennedy, and Secretary of Defense all together.
Characters are the best part of this map, in my opinion. I just realized the map
that's literally it. The characters are the best part. The boss... Can I even call him a boss that steals your weapon and runs around?
The scientist... I wouldn't even call him a boss, to be honest.
I mean, he's kind of like a mini boss, I would say, but...
Yeah, I'd say...
those are the...
He's like the Magneton, only a lot easier to kill.
I was going to say, yeah, he's easier to kill. He's just more of a pain in the rear.
And if you kill him before he takes your weapon, you get a special drop only on 5. The bonfire sale where you get Pack-a-Punch for $1,000.
I think I remember that. I mean, all of those things make it good, but I want to say this map got overshadowed by almost everything else in Black Ops 1 Zombies.
Yes.
So on its own, it's really good. Like we already said, the characters were great. Having the scientist running around was great. The map overall, very close quarters. I found myself having to use less of the guns I was used to and using more shotguns, SMGs, and it was more terrifying, especially if anyone was speed running. Mm-hmm. You make one wrong turn, you're done. But I don't know where to rank it because I have so many mixed feelings. I mean, it's so good, but compared to other Black Ops maps and other Zombies maps, it's not quite there.
I think for me, I want to put it in the D tier. Just because it's really hard to get high round on this because the Wonder Weapon is so bad. And the Wonder Weapon is not forgiving at all. The Winter's Howl slows him down, but it does not kill him. I either say C or D.
I'm willing to put it at C for now, but if we start to notice that there's a bunch of other maps going into C, it may find its way down there.
Yeah, okay. So, I want to hear what you have to say about Ascension.
You're going to hate me for this. I've actually never played Ascension.
Okay.
Even with Zombie Chronicles, I've actually never... Okay.
I'm just kidding. You haven't played it with Zombies Chronicles either? Because if you haven't, then I can...
No. I keep... Well, the second I got Zombies Chronicles, I touched every map except for this one. So this one I'm kind of going into the blind about. I've seen videos.
This map is very similar. This map takes a lot of things from Darice to where there's 3 different launch pads to unlock Pack-a-Punch. This map is very simple when it comes to training because you got like 3 different training spots that you can run for however long you want, never run out of ammo. Black Ops 1 version, this is my highest round on Black Ops 1 is only 70, whereas my highest round on Black Ops 3 is 115. But then I ended up killing myself because I got tired of playing. So the thing is with this map, it does have an Easter egg, but in the original game you have to do it with 4 players. Because you have to have the Gersh device, the Petrushka dolls, the ray gun, crossbow, and the thunder gun, I believe.
Jesus.
And it's barely even an Easter egg. It's like 20 minutes if you have all those things. But gameplay-wise, I find it really fun. It's a very easy map, good for new zombie players, kind of like Kino was. And it brought in PhD Flopper and Stamina Up, which Stamina Up is one of my favorite perks of all time. So I think
Stamina Up is a godsend.
I am actually going to put Ascension above Kino. But my thing is, I have so many... I've played so much on Ascension. Like, and Ascension, for me, is one of those maps. Like, it's the map that grew my channel. So it's also kind of hard for me to put it low. Now we can move on. I don't want to talk too much
Okay.
about Ascension. Call of the Dead.
All right. So it's amazing what they were able to accomplish where you weren't playing as the four main characters throughout Black Ops. I also love the fact that they managed to get Michael Rooker, Robert Englund, Machete. Oh God, what's her name? I can picture her right now.
I don't know her name.
And then having George A. Romero following you around the whole map.
Yep.
I thought that was awesome. Even if the Easter egg was kind of lackluster for the most part, having the main characters trapped in a portal.
Uh-huh.
I loved
it was
it.
the first Easter egg that they ever did. Like, full out Easter egg that they have ever done.
Yeah. Like I thought it was a nice nod, especially again George A. Romero being this boss, this never dying boss. The wonder weapon I thought was mediocre though.
The two wonder weapons.
Well, the one that comes to mind. Okay, you turn a zombie into a human.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo.
So for me, Call of the Dead, I haven't played it a ton. Call of the Dead's probably my least played map, and I think that's why it's one of my favorites. But for the fact of this, I would honestly keep it. I would put it at the back side of B. Because while I do like the map, I hate the fog. Okay, sorry guys, technical difficulties. We are back. Now on to...
Yeah, it's his fault.
Shangri-La. It is my fault. Now on to Shangri-La.
Okay.
Now, if you told me you hadn't played this map, I would believe you.
Okay, I played it once.
Ascension.
I played it once, and I've never seen such a cluster of a map in my life. Like, aesthetically, it's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Like, it's pleasing to the eye. Oh, no, it is beautiful to the eye. If there were no zombies there, I would vacation there in a heartbeat. But I distinctly remember baby zombies, monkeys taking my stuff. I also remember going through what looked like a slide throughout the whole map, and it was just...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, if they turned that into a water park, perfect. But from the one time of playing this map, it's very good. I wouldn't put it above B tier, though, just because it's... I feel like it tries to do too much, and it's too jumbled.
I would honestly put it... I'd probably put it in D tier for the original one. If it was the Black Ops 3 version, I think the Black Ops 3 version's a lot better. But I'm going to put it in D tier just because, like you said, I think there's too much going on. And it's like the one map that I don't want to play on Black Ops 1. It's the one map I cannot stand playing on Black Ops 1.
Now, remember how you said how I said depending on what map we put in D, we would decide what to do with 5?
Yeah.
Is 5 better or worse than Shangri-La? Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
Okay, so next one, Moon. I've got a lot of things about Moon that I enjoy.
I've got a lot of things to go off of. This was the first Easter egg that I went to a friend's house and actually finished. Had a lot going for it. Watching the Earth explode was beautiful. I loved the concept of the low gravity, although that could bite you in the rear. I love the idea of having the one, fake person walking around and you don't want to get near that guy. This map was actually really good. Whether or not you talk about the Black Ops 1 or the Black Ops 3 version, this was a good map.
Yeah, I think if we were just going off the Easter egg, it would be an S tier because while it's not a hard Easter egg, the ending is just so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Gameplay, I don't know how big of a fan I am of the zero gravity areas, and I don't like the excavators. The excavators make it a non-S tier or A tier for me, just because those can really screw things up. The Easter egg, like I said, is really fun, and my favorite part about this map is the Area 51, the no man's land at the beginning. That's my favorite part about this map.
Oh, I love seeing it after the explosion. Then it just looks 10 times better.
Yeah. So I'd honestly say I'd put it in B.
I would put it maybe top of B or bottom of A.
I would put it above Shina Numa. So I'd put it at top of B. I don't think it's A tier because the space guy could just be standing there around a corner and he steals your perks.
And that ruins everything.
Yeah, that ruins everything. Okay. Next map. Transit.
Oh, God. I'm trying to separate Transit from running town for hours on end. So this map is a classic case of being ahead of its time.
Not having enough
Because
assets to run the way they wanted it to.
mhm, had this map come out on the Xbox One and or the current console, we're talking about the fog probably doesn't exist.
Denizens.
They probably don't need to have the denizens, as painful as they were. That was another place I happen to have knocked buried into the map. But overall, I mean, the characters were kind of meh.
Yeah,
The
I don't like those characters.
the bus going around. I mean, I love the idea of a large-scale zombies map, but they wasted it on a game engine that wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, and I honestly, my thing with Transit, the best part about Transit honestly comes down to the town, farm, bus depot, and turned. Because that's what the map's already set up like that. The map's set up to be 5 different small areas within like these little things around the area or around the place, and then the Easter eggs lackluster. I'm gonna put Transit in E because I do have a lot of fun playing it, and the Wonder Weapon is awful, but it technically does have unlimited ammo. So I think Transit.
Oh, and the electric guy is just.
Avogadro. Yeah.
Oh God, he was such a pain.
I moved it down to F. I forgot about the Avogadro.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't have any good
shuts off the
memories about
bus.
Transit, honestly.
No, I remember you'd had to have to have the Gava Knuckles, or you'd have to have this just to knock him out, and he would honestly ruin your chances. This was not a map to run high rounds on, or if you did, you got lucky.
Yes, you'd have to.
Or you never turned on power ever.
I like how my name is Cody Pester and yours is Dank Dan. I forgot I had this set up for school, so it's got my real name.
So you're just going by your real name, so
Yeah.
everyone just knows. Okay. Oh boy. Oh.
We are gonna have very differing opinions on this map.
Okay. So you know what? I don't hate this map.
We'll make a compromise and we'll meet in the middle, because for me this is a no higher than E.
I think I might be able to convince you for D at the very least.
Okay.
Try
me.
Because, okay. So I love the fact that they decided to do away with the dogs and try something different.
But they were just Nova
For the-
crawlers. They were just the old
Those Nova
crawlers.
crawlers, I have to admit, they're not bad. I actually like the concept of it being more hectic of, okay, they're not going to run at me. They might be on the ceiling, off the wall, off the wall. It's like watching my kid climb on stuff.
Can't
But
relate, don't
the
have
thing
kid.
But here's the thing. The Wonder Weapon, upon launch, was beautiful. Afterwards, trash.
Yeah, that's why I move it down to
So
E.
that's what partially knocks it down for me. Another thing, I don't know how you feel about I'm going to call it the trampoline thing. You know what I'm talking about, the system of, yeah, that thing. I don't know your thoughts on that. I mean, it was okay if you trained just right. It would help you out in a pinch, but it's not bad. It's just the thing that pissed me off the most. And you and I were discussing this before making this video of, great, now I got to go get ammo. I got to run around the whole map, and if I am getting chased by a zombie, I got to pass by it, go all the way around, up, down, and if a zombie happens to be in my way and I jump at the wrong time,
Yep.
And Who's Who, the worst perk of all time, should never have been added, and they took away Quick Revive for that piece of junk. You know
Quick
what? Put
Revive's
it in
the map.
Put
Quick
it.
Revive's in
Oh, I
the
thought-
map, but the problem is when Who's Who, like if you're playing solo, if you use Who's Who and you go down while you're in this Who's Who form, your Quick Revive doesn't matter at all. That's why whenever I be doing high rounds and I get the denizens, or not the denizens, the crawlers, and I kill them, I would always kill myself at the end of that round after I got Who's Who until I got the perks I wanted. Then I would just shoot them, and if I didn't get a perk, I didn't get a perk. It didn't bother me too much.
Yeah. You know what? I think I just convinced myself to agree with you and put it in E. It's like, I was like, I like this map. I was like, oh my god, I forgot how much I hate this damn map.
So, for you guys who want to know, back in the day when me, Dan, and Jordan used to go for high rounds, this was Dan's map that he was ahead of me and Jordan in. Up until, like, a year ago. Because I finally beat him. Because I just was like, okay, screw it, I'll beat him. He doesn't deserve it anymore.
Hey!
Okay, Dan.
Okay.
Mob of the Dead.
Mob of the Dead. Okay, so I'm a sucker for mafia movies. Let's put it this way. So Godfather, Goodfellas, The Irishman, movies that I'll watch any day of the week. Wait, did you just put that there just because you think I'm gonna say S?
I'm saying S, and I just wanted it in its own little area, so I could remember which one we were doing.
Oh, okay, okay. So overall, the weapons, even having the starting weapon being slightly different, was pretty good. Having Brutus as a little mini boss at all times, and kind of really selling the whole purgatory. This is never going to end. And even when you do the Easter egg, finding yourself staring at an electric chair, and you can choose to end it at any point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Which I always like that concept, especially if you happen to do it and you decide, okay, now I'm just going to high round it in this area and just train over and over again until I give up. So I would put this somewhere in the A tier. I don't think it deserves to be an S tier map, irregardless of the cast or the layout and everything that goes with the map.
So I'm actually not a huge fan of Mob of the Dead. Like the map itself, it's one of my least favorite maps to do high rounds on. Easter egg, it doesn't have an amazing Easter egg, but it's a really cool one to do because I mean the main Easter egg is pretty much you going to the bridge, coming back, going to the bridge, coming back, going to the bridge, coming back, and then doing a few small things on your way. The cast I enjoy more than the actual transit crew. And my biggest complaint about this map is how you get to Pack-a-Punch, and every single time how you have to go, like the first time you do it, it's fine, and then the next time I've got to go all the way to the docks, run all the way back up top, run all the way back down to the docks to grab the other piece that's down at the docks, run all the way back up top. I just don't like that aspect of it, so for me, that moves it down to bottom A or top of B.
I'll go with bottom of A. Sounds a little bit better.
Because I also like how many different things there are. Like there's the Acid Gat, the upgrade, the Vitriolic Withering, the Blunder Gat, and the Sweeper. So there's technically 4 variations of the Wonder Weapon. Mm-hmm. I like the Golden Sport because that's a one-hit knife until round 31.
That thing is beautiful. And then
the Hell's
Retriever.
And the Hell's Redeemer. Because Hell's Redeemer is actually a one-hit kill fully charged until round 71, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I like the way the buildable system works in this map. Because it was the first map, I believe, to introduce the buildable system where you pick it up here, everyone has it. Then you run over here, you pick it up, everyone has it. It's not like what Transit was where you'd run over here, pick up a piece, and then have to drop whatever else you were carrying.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, I was going to say Transit made it a little difficult. Okay, so what have we got next? Oh, ooh.
Buried. See, I really like Buried, so this I'm gonna let you say your piece. But
I like Buried.
One of my favorite maps of all time.
I love the whole background story behind Buried. Trying to get to that big guy before round 1 is over was always a fun challenge to try and pull off. I never actually got to do it myself. The Easter egg was actually really entertaining, both having 2 different endings, so the replay value of doing the Easter egg made it great. The other thing I'll openly admit, as much as people didn't like the Transit crew, I did like the idea of having only one character hearing Edward Richtofen's voice the whole time.
Yes, instead of having everyone.
Not to mention the perks. What was it? It was Vulture's something. I forget what it was. Yeah, that one.
Plus, this map introduced like 4 perma perks. Like they had the PhD perma perk, the Quick Revive perma perk, the Jug one, and then the Deadshot one.
Yeah, I kind of wish they'd kept that stuff around. There was so much going for this map, and a lot of it we never saw again.
And this map did the Paralyzer, so the Wonder Weapon for this map. And this map also introduced the Ray Gun Mark II. But that doesn't really affect the map because you can get it on every other Zombies map.
Yeah, once this map came out, it was available to every map. It was like
Mule Kick from Black Ops 1.
Pretty much.
I would honestly put Buried in... I'd put it top of B.
Okay.
For the fact that I think Buried is a very underrated map by a lot of people because it had a lot for it. It has a new perk, which can't say much about that other than like Shadows of Evil for Black Ops 3. It has it has one of the best Wonder Weapons we've ever seen, theoretically speaking, because it technically has infinite damage. It never runs out of ammo. Theoretically speaking, it is the best Wonder Weapon other than like the newest one, like the die shockwave. That's probably the best one.
Oh, that thing is a beauty.
The
All
Easter egg
right.
is actually fun to do on this one too, which that's why I've got it in top of B. So Origins, I'm putting it in
Oh
the S
dear
tier.
God. I mean, this map is got to be one of the most difficult ones to run of all time. And the worst part is, in Black Ops 3, you told me it was made easier, so that just makes me feel worse.
Depends. It depends on how you do it, because this map was made like this map. If you can run this map solo on Black Ops 2, if you run the Easter egg and you beat it, it shows how good of a zombies player you are. Like beating this is like the staple of being a good zombies player. If you can do that solo on Black Ops 2, you're a good zombies player. There's also a thing in Black Ops 2 with the Easter egg that makes it a lot easier, because instead of having to go through and go and top into all the robots during one of the steps and put each staff in a separate robot, you can actually just grab the fire staff, take it back and forth between the one that's already down in the bottom area, and do that step of the Easter egg. The one complaint I have about this map, though, is while I do find getting the original pieces for the staffs to be kind of fun, I don't enjoy the upgrading of the staffs because it takes up so much of the Easter egg. It just feels like they had no idea what else to do.
I was going to say, the other thing was the mini bosses were just, oh my God. Those things were a nuisance.
Yeah.
And I mean, what were they? The Panzer Shreks, I think, was.
Yeah, the Panzers, and
Panzers.
then there were like every 7 or 8 rounds after round 15, you'd have the guys who would come and steal your power from the generators. I also don't like the power system. I hate the idea of having to turn on separate power things. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I was never a big fan of that. I mean, the Easter egg, the end reward was so beautiful, and I mean, the idea of the staffs I always liked. I mean, they're overpowered as all hell. But that being said, I wouldn't put this at the very highest level. It definitely, where I just saw you put it, makes sense. It's definitely above Kino. Ascension, I can't really speak for, but
I'd
this
probably put
this is
Mob of the
definitely.
Dead above Kino.
I can live with that.
I'd put Ascension here, because Ascension, while it's fun for high rounds, it doesn't have much more going for it other than that.
Okay, so Origins is right now at the top of the A
Yeah.
tier.
Which
Okay.
I would agree with that. As of right, like looking at all these maps, I would agree with that. Shadows of Evil. Now I've got a lot
Ooh.
of thoughts on this one because honestly it's one of my favorite maps now, but I hated it when it first came out.
Okay, I'll be honest, I hated it when it first came out too. But I hated it for a very unique reason. There was so much they could have done that they didn't do. It was like, okay, new characters. You could have easily thrown very specific weapons to the time. You could have, instead of Gavin Knuckles, hey, throw in Brass Knuckles. You know, give us something for that time and era. The Easter egg was kind of okay, and it immediately was just like, okay, what are we going to see with this crew next? And right off into the other story, I was like, well, what was the point of this?
Yeah, I know. I honestly,
I
for
mean-
me, Shadows doesn't deserve S tier, and I think it should be below Mob of the Dead. I honestly would probably put Shadows like right here.
Whether or not I would put it above Ascension and Kino, it's like a 50-50 split. It's like it grew on me, but it didn't really.
See, I don't know. I like the Wonder Weapon from Shadows of Evil, but I also hate how tedious getting everything set up is. And the Easter egg, while it is fun, there's still just a ton to do. So we're gonna put it there for now. If we want to come back to it, we can. Der
Okay.
Eisendrache.
That looks familiar.
I'm just putting it there for now. That's not where I'm putting it finally.
Okay.
I'm
So
just gonna put
after
it in an empty spot so it's easier for me to find.
fair enough. Okay, so after playing that and doing the Easter egg with you and Jordan, I love the map, but I mean the Easter egg can be quite a bit of a pain. The overall feel of the map is kind of weird. A lot of the aspects you have no clue how anything works. You're kind of just thrown in there blindly. I mean, most zombies maps did that, but this really just threw you in and said, "Here you go. Have fun. Hey, look,
Yeah.
there's a dragon's head. Oh, what does that do? Oh, you feed it. Oh, how the hell
Yeah.
was I gonna know that one?
I honestly think this map. I don't know. I think this map deserves to be in the A tier just because I love the Easter egg and I know the Easter egg, and this is one of the only Easter eggs where you only have to make, if there's multiple wonder weapons, you only have to make one of them. Because like in Origins, you have to make every single staff. This one, if you were going solo, you just have to make the bow or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty easy to learn, and you can have it done by like round 15 or something like that. And the gameplay is really fun. I don't know. It just doesn't seem as original as some of the other maps. Because, like, Origins had the 4 staffs. This one has the 4 bows, which copies Origins
Oh,
staffs for the most
yeah.
part. So I would put Drach between Origins and Mob. And now I'm actually going to come down here, and I'm going to move Derice above Verruckt. Guess I'm not going to do that.
There you go.
And I think that looks a lot better. Because we had a lot in B, and I don't know. I just have been sitting here looking at Derice and been like, I don't think so.
Okay, now we're looking at Zetsune.
Zetsubou no Shima.
The challenges are just such a pain.
They're
I don't want to base
They're
it off of
so tedious.
I don't want to base it off
that.
the Easter egg, but I also want to say this map is a jumbled absolute mess, reminding me of Shangri-La on an even worse level.
So this map is the only map where it's like, if you want to go high rounds or do anything, you have to do at least part of the Easter egg. Because you have to do part of the Easter egg to get the KT4 upgraded, which is the wonder weapon. You pretty much have to do half of the Easter egg to get it. And then on top of that, like at least with Origins, you make one, you can make a staff or you don't make a staff. Because like me, I would not make a staff in Black Ops 2. I would just go down to the crazy place, upgrade a AK-47U and an STG and just run in the circles. Because until you grab one of those rocks, it doesn't matter. You can run in circles as long as you want. And as long as you never grab one of those rocks, the walls never start to fall. But Zetsubou, you have to spend so much time, like you have to do the power. You have to go through all the bunkers. In order to unlock Pack-a-Punch, you have to go through all these different areas. You have to do all the skulls for the Skull of Non-Stopway. As an Easter egg, I think it works. As a map to just play and have fun with, I don't think it does. So
no, this is an Easter egg map, not a have fun and run and gun map.
I would put it in E. I don't know if you'd agree with that because you probably haven't played it a ton.
I only played it the few times I played it with you, and even that was enough to give me an idea that it's just.
But it's don't get me wrong. I love the map. I love the ending cutscene. But like, if we're just going off of the map in general, it's not an amazing map, especially for the way I'm thinking about it. So E tier, that works for me. If that works for you.
Okay. Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Go Rod.
Go. Okay. You know, for a really difficult pain in the butt map.
Yeah, this one does.
This one is a pain, but this thing is a beauty of a map. I mean, the wonder weapon for the ray gun Mark III.
Yes.
Not to mention just the layout of it. There's open spaces to kind of train. There's enclosed areas in case you need to go somewhere. Going through the Easter egg actually felt like it was rewarding. It was long, it was tedious, but it actually felt like you were making progress, unlike Zetsubou, which we just talked about. Not to mention just hearing the Ace of Spades playing at the very beginning as you're dropping in, and that's just how you build up. That just hyped me up right into the map, and then I'd die, round 10.
Yeah.
But this map was actually really good. Would I put it in A tier? Probably not. But overall, this would definitely be a decent map.
I think I would put it between Buried and Moon. And then I think I would move Shinonuma down to C.
Now, what puts it down at C?
Just because I've been thinking about it, there isn't much to do in this map other than, like, once you get your perks in the Wonder Waff, there's literally nothing to do other than go for high rounds.
True.
And I'm keeping Noct
Make-
in B just because it didn't. I mean, it doesn't have much, but it was still fun for the people who weren't able to buy these 3 maps.
Okay. Whew. I suppose that moves us on to the next one, don't it?
That moves us on to Revelations.
Okay. If I'm being perfectly honest, this should have been the end of the zombie storyline.
Yes.
I mean, what they're doing with it now is beautiful that they put it in. Well, spoiler alert, that they've somehow managed to make it a part of the campaign. But this was like the very peak of the zombies maps. This was literally well, not every, but almost every zombies map was thrown in there. You had Noct, Kino, you pretty much name it, and there was at least one callback to every single zombies map. The wonder weapons being in there. You actually, I mean, I hated the fact that you had to pretty much do every Easter egg previous to this to get into this one. But once you got into it, I mean, this was like a who's who of everything you wanted to do. It's like, okay, we're going to play Revelations. Okay, where are you going to train? I'm going to go on to Noct and do my old training route, and it would work. You'd go into Kino, do, well, kind of the same thing. This map, honestly, I kind of wish they had never made another zombies map after this, because this was great. Is it the best zombies map of all time? I don't know.
I'm gonna say no.
I would say no. Does it deserve to be an S tier? Maybe. Like, I would put it somewhere at the top of maybe A, but it's not the best map of all time.
Here's my thing. If we were gonna put Revelations in A, like top A, I think that needs to move Origins into Rise and Rock up to S.
Are we willing to agree to that? I'm willing to make that move. If you are.
We don't have any in S, because I feel like we've been kind of putting it off just in case we saw a better map. I think I want to put Revelations there and put these here. Because while I think Mob of the Dead is an amazing map, I don't believe it deserves S tier. Because if anyone from my channel will know that I'm not a huge fan of Mob of the Dead. Every other big zombies YouTuber would be like, Mob of the Dead is the best map ever. No.
Mob of the Dead was different. That's what makes it stand out so much.
Exactly.
If you literally, and we'll get to it once we get to Blood of the Dead, if you throw the original cast in there, you'll see a difference.
Yes.
But
so, let's do Voyage of Despair, since that's technically the first map from the game, because you didn't unlock 9 until after you beat after you were a certain level in multiplayer. I think you had to be level 4 before you unlock 9.
Yeah, I always found that to be weird. Okay, Voyage of Despair.
Honestly, I would put that in F tier. I cannot stand this map. I've always wanted a map on the Titanic, but just the Black Ops 4 mechanic ruined this map for me. With having all of like the water boss, the poison boss, the big boss, the fire guy. There's just too much on this map. While I think the boss fight at the end is amazing, I've never made it that far because of how much I hate this map. I can't play it. I don't know.
I was going to say,
I can't stand it.
I, as a history nut, always loved the Titanic. I mean, let's face it, watched the movie, watched a million documentaries, read up on it, did whole papers in high school on the Titanic. And when I heard, okay, Voyage of Despair is going to be on the Titanic, I lost my mind and even had people losing their mind. I was like, okay, I know where I'm going. I know where everything is on the Titanic. But then, like you said, just all these various bosses. And what kills me is there were so many things that worked for this map. I mean, I love the look of the mystery box. That actually got me. The different look for the mystery box was good. The perk system, I mean, being able to choose which 4 perks you got was kind of meh.
That's what I
because
let's say you're the Black Ops 4 gameplay.
No, I always hated that because there were what I'd refer to as early round perks that you needed, and then perks for the end game that you needed at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And this game just didn't deliver. Would you agree if you took Voyage of Despair and put it in the Black Ops 3 style?
I think it would be
that would probably jump up.
I think it would be decent.
It would be somewhere at least above at C or above.
Yeah, I just don't like Voyage of Despair. If it wasn't on the Black Ops 4, like even if it was on Black Ops 2's like engine or like had the same gameplay as that, I would like it way more.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
I just not I don't like the engine for Black Ops 4. So let's move on to 9.
I hate 9 more than I hate Voyage of Despair. If I'm being perfectly honest, this map had a similar problem, and as much as I love, studying up on ancient stuff, especially Rome, this map did nothing for me. The
I
Easter egg did
actually
nothing for
really
me.
like this map. I like the boss battle.
I, I
We
never made it to the boss battle, so maybe that's what didn't do it for me. But
The
it
Wonder
just
Weapon also was not amazing on this map for me. It was I think it was the Scorpion of Orion or something like that.
uh,
I don't know. How about we make a little bit of a compromise? We move Voyage of Despair up to E, and we put 9 also in E to kind of meet in the middle. Because it seemed like you liked Voyage of Despair a little more than I did, and I would probably put 9 at C or D, and I'd take it you'd probably put it at F, so we can meet in middle.
I would probably put 9. If we're putting it where you did, I can live with that.
Well, okay, so me, Voyage of Despair is F. 9 for you, where would you put it? 9 for me would probably be C or D.
9 for me, I wouldn't put it above D.
Okay. Because I think 9's a good map to get you introduced to Black Ops 4's mechanics. And it's very good at getting you, like, there's 4 perks, because there's, like, Gaia,
Yeah.
Zeus, Odin,
some various
Ra.
god. Yeah.
Now, Blood of the Dead.
The Mob of the Dead remake.
Which
Featuring...
was significantly worse, in my opinion. Significantly worse.
I was going to say, this map is a classic case of let's live off of the hype of a previous map. Hey, Mob of the Dead did so great, let's recreate it and just throw in the cast. And they thought it would work. And in all reality, I'm not going to lie, I do enjoy this map. Don't get me wrong. Getting my hands on various stuff from Mob of the Dead in this map was good. But again, the Black Ops 4 system it didn't do it for me. This map had a lot going for it. The Easter egg was pretty good. Having Brutus back and still hitting you was pretty good. You already knew the layout of the map for the most part because you had already done it. But it's just Black Ops 4's mechanics just destroyed a lot of its maps.
That I agree with everything you've said. I honestly would probably put this above Voyage and 9 in either the D or C tier.
I'd put it bottom of C.
Okay.
Like it's not going to go past Verruckt and Derice.
Yeah, but I think it is above the original.
Oh, it's definitely above Shangri-La and 5.
And these maps down here definitely. See, Transit's one. If it would have been like the way they wanted it to be, it would probably be in the A tier for me.
Oh no, if Transit had been made, a generation later on consoles. Actually, no. You know what they would have done? They would have just boosted up the graphics and ran into the same damn problem.
Probably. So, the next map, I am straight up putting it in F tier. I've played Dead of the Night once, and I did most of the Easter egg, and I hated it. It's one of my least favorite maps. It felt like there was nothing there.
I played it
I'd like
once
to hear you out.
and exited out of it because I got bored of it very quickly.
Exactly.
And then immediately I was like, okay, I'm going to go play Blackout. Wow, I died every single round. All right, you know what? Let me come back to it. Maybe I just, took the wrong thing from it. I've been spoiled with so many zombie maps. Let me try it again. God, this map sucks. There's nothing going for it.
There's nothing memorable about this map. I will say the Wonder Weapon's pretty cool. It's like the pistol that's got like poison and fire. And the boss fight's really cool, but like I don't want to play this map. I hate this map.
No.
This is my least favorite zombies map of all time. I would much rather spend the rest of my life playing Transit than this map.
The thing about, and this goes for every Black Ops 4 map, is what made the maps above so memorable is every single one of them either introduced a new perk or found a unique way to go about using a perk or some various thing. Black Ops 4 didn't do that. I was like, okay, pick your 4 perks, and they're going to be on every single map. It's like, great. So
Okay.
what makes these maps unique? Oh, it's, the characters, the map layout. So that doesn't make anything special.
We have 3 maps left technically. The last one here is Ancient Evil, but we've got Tagder Totem and D Machine.
Wait. I was gonna say we're forgetting. There's a few that we're actually forgetting off the top of my head.
Nuketown, we're missing.
We're missing Nuketown. We're also missing the time in Black Ops 4 when they returned to Nuketown. We're missing the
Alpha
redone
Omega.
version of 5.
And Classified.
Alpha Omega.
Okay, so let's do
Classified.
Nuketown
Okay.
from Black Ops 2 quick. And I would honestly, so Nuketown from Black Ops 2 reminds me a lot of, it's kind of like a mix between Derice and Kino for me. Because it's got a lot of waiting like Derice did, like you had to wait for certain things to happen on the map, but it also could be like Kino to where it was just like you go for high rounds.
I was going to say, I love the concept of it. I also love the idea of, okay, as you're doing this, Moon is happening at pretty much the exact same time. I love the concept. It's just, it felt like they were trying to capitalize too much on the name of Nuketown and not trying enough to make the map more unique.
I'd probably put it above Blood of the Dead, but behind Verruckt.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
I could probably agree with that.
It doesn't have a wonder weapon.
No, not really.
It has the ray gun and ray gun Mark II, but those are like not map exclusive wonder weapons. So Verruckt, Blood of the Dead, in between those, think you could deal with that?
Yeah, I can definitely deal with that.
Okay, so our next one, Classified, which is actually my favorite launch map from I will say the one thing Black Ops 4 did really well is there was a ton of content for zombies when it released. You had four maps because you had Blood of the Dead, Classified, Voyage of Despair, and 9. Plus you had the Gauntlet mode, the Rush mode, and all of that other stuff. And you could mess
I was
going to
say, if I'm being perfectly honest, I would love to see those modes make a comeback in Cold War. Whether or not we will, well, time will tell. They only talk about new modes.
Yes.
Well, at the time of making this video, anyway.
So the one thing that I enjoy about Classified that isn't in the other like remake maps is Classified really only let you into places that you've always thought about being able to go in, and you were able to see and go in, and it wasn't like they didn't completely change the map from 5, whereas like Blood of the Dead, they had this whole separate section. And I actually really enjoy only having like the more original areas in Classified. I don't know why. It's weird. But you also could go back to Area 51 in Classified, I believe.
I was going to say, having Classified, just having the callback to, well, 5, but just the layout of the map being, something you already know, having it that you're just, okay, I know how to do this, I got to run around here. Almost everything is set up the same, except for, like you said, there's some areas where it's like, I'd really like to see what's back there. Well, now you finally can, because the game is big enough that they can do that.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much what they did with Black Ops 4 was I think they took everything they wanted to do in old maps and implemented them all into these maps because they were able to, which I do give them credit for that, since they were on a very tight budget because all of their resources were pretty much going to Blackout. Honestly,
which was the wrong horse to back.
Yeah, I'd probably put Classified above Call of the Dead in the B tier.
I would either put it. I mean, we're both thinking the same area. I'm trying to decide above or below Call of the Dead.
I don't want to put it above Noct because Noct like was so original, and like obviously nostalgia is part of it too because it was the first map and it kind of made my love for zombies. But I think it should go above Call of the Dead just because of George. I hate George. And Classified's Wonder Weapon was actually good. The best version of the Winter's Howl that we've seen.
Okay, fair enough. They actually fixed the Winter's Howl, which I never thought I'd see.
And I like how classified. I don't really enjoy the Easter egg. I've done it once, but if you get to like round 115, you have the special 115 cutscene.
I did not have the time and patience to do it.
You pretty much used a glitch where you had the shield, you shoot the zombies, you turn by the shield, shoot the zombies. That's really all it was.
Oh,
Very tedious.
That's very tedious and painful.
But yeah, so I honestly would put it above Call of the Dead, but we'll say end of B, since we don't have a picture. We'll just say it's in B, bottom of B, almost down to C.
Okay.
Like that.
Alpha Omega.
Alpha Omega. Now, Alpha Omega.
The Return to Nuketown.
Alpha Omega, honestly, is... I don't know. It's Alpha Omega. A lot of people hate the Easter egg. I've never tried the Easter egg, but just playing the map, I think it's my favorite playable map in Black Ops 4.
I would say it's definitely up there. I mean, it shows what they could have done with the Nuketown map from Black Ops 2 had they done it on the next-gen console. I mean, being able to travel underneath Nuketown was a nice concept.
Into the bunker, yeah.
Into the bunker. Being able to pretty much... I mean, granted, I never did the Easter egg, but still, it was a fun map to run around on and attempt to survive. Was it the best map in the world? Hell no. But for Black Ops 4, it was one of the best of the worst.
I honestly would probably put this in the top of... I'd put it above Shinonuma and Darius and Verruckt. Just for the fact that it has a lot more than those and like all the glitches that came with World at War.
I can agree with that because I would definitely not put it at B tier.
So top of C. We'll say top of C for Alpha Omega. Now moving on to Ancient Evil, which we do actually have a picture for.
Alpha Evil. Oh, I mean, Ancient Evil.
Ancient Evil, in my opinion, actually I think this one's my favorite one overall. Like the Wonder weapons, map layout, boss fight, everything. I'd honestly put this one... I'd put it up above Go Rod.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I'd probably agree with you. This map actually deserves a lot more love than it got.
It sucks because it was in the Black Ops 4 cycle. But this map has so many things that I love. Like the Wonder Weapons, I absolutely adore. The boss fight where you have to leap from platform to platform. You have to kill one guy, and then you also have to kill the Pegasus. Beautiful area, too. Just like the aesthetics of this map are probably my favorite from Black Ops 4. It's such a gorgeous looking map. And it calls back to like Buried, being buried underneath. Like it was buried underneath another city. Which is the same thing like Buried was.
It was like a beautiful... I feel like every map for Black Ops 4 had some sort of callback that they purposely did. It's like, hey, look what we could have done, but we didn't.
Exactly. And honestly, Ancient Evils is a great map on a shitty...
On a shitty game.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. We're done with Ancient Evil. Now moving on to Dank Totem. One of the biggest letdowns for me.
Oh my god, the end of an era. I'm sorry, but when I look at Revelations versus Dank Dan and Totem for ending the arc, because here's the thing, if you took the ending of Tag and put that at the end of Revelations and told us that's how the story ends, you could have sold that to me and gone right into Cold War like it was nothing, and no one would have batted an eyelash, but Tag is just... Not that I hate the transit crew completely, but it was like, really? This is the last zombies map you're going to give me is these guys? This is literally all you're going to give me is a callback to Call of the Dead?
Keep talking. I got to get my laptop charger.
Alright, so everyone who can still hear me. So, Tag, honestly, all it was just Call of the Dead, but just with a less interesting cast, a less interesting Easter egg, and just everything about it was like Call of the Dead, just crappier. Like, all the Black Ops 4 maps, at the very least, improved on the map they were based off of. This didn't do it. It did the exact opposite. I thought
It
it
added
did
a
a
lot of
crappier
stuff.
job of it.
It added a lot of stuff, but I don't think it was good stuff.
It
And
didn't
then
add anything good.
the final part of this, like all of Black Ops 4 has had these amazing bosses. Like I won't lie, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, amazing bosses all the way across the board. And then you get to this map, there's not even a boss fight. It's just like stay in this circle like you're playing Blackout and just follow it. And don't let it kill you. So Tagged or Totem for me, honestly, is below 5.
I'm questioning if it even deserves, if it should go below Zetsubou at this point, the way that map felt.
I agree. I think it should go below Zetsubou, but above Die Rise, just because
Die Rise,
verticality of Die Rise is what gets me. Just having to go all the way down to take an elevator to go all the way back up. So I think
and
that's
if you miss
spot.
it, yeah.
And if you miss it, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Last map.
So the last map. Welcome to the present day. We're not going to talk about the PlayStation exclusive where you can play on every multiplayer map, because then we'll be here all day and we'll just be talking about how we wish we were playing it.
Exactly.
But because the first thing I saw on YouTube was, hey, Nuketown.
Nuketown zombies. Yeah, I saw that on Noah J's.
Yeah, I saw that everywhere. But more importantly, this map is, you can tell that they're trying to get a new fan base while also appeasing the old.
In a different
because
way.
This,
appeasing the old in a different way. And like listening to what they've said.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that.
Because they fixed a lot of mechanics, including one of my favorite things, and you and I have both done this. Okay, max ammo reload. Wait, I don't have to say that anymore. I can actually run up, grab the reload, and not have to worry. It's like, oh, thanks, man. Now I don't have to reload.
Yeah, I know.
Not to mention the mini bosses. I don't even know if I call them mini bosses. Those things are a pain, but they're also beautiful. The Dark Ether, I kind of wish there was a way to stay in the Dark Ether longer, because
they should have
that
something
place is
like
beautiful.
If you pay points or something like that, like it's 500 points for an extra like 30 seconds. Then it's like 1,000 points for an extra minute or something like that. Or they should make an Easter egg where it's like you get 5 minutes in the Dark Ether.
Part of me hopes that one of the modes that comes out is Dark Ether only, in which case you keep getting the big red guys in. It just keeps getting harder and harder, because that map has a lot. The only issue is, I think Cold War had... it's a discussion for later, but it's something along the lines of they gave us one map.
Yeah.
I mean, this map is beautiful. If you split it up into parts, you can make mini maps like what you did with Transit.
Mm-hmm. Like have pond, have yard, have knocked, have the basement area if you want.
Yeah. I also love the introduction of, and I'm trying to separate the map from the game, but I can't help but talk about the tiers of the perks, the tiers of the weapons.
Yeah.
The way Pack-a-Punch works. Just everything about this is like, okay, this is a fresh start, which is a reference to what happens at the end of Black Ops 4, but at the same time, it's nothing we haven't seen before. It's like, you know what Jug does. You know what Quick Revive is for. Well, kind of. Speed Cola. You know what Double Tap... Oh, wait, we don't have Double Tap yet. We don't have Tombstone. We're missing a few perks at the time of making this video. But overall, this map is good. Like, it's a good start in the right direction. The only thing is, I don't know where to rank it yet, because time hasn't really given me enough time to, decide, is it good enough to last?
And this is, I just want to say this to everyone. This is the first game where Dan has favored zombies over the multiplayer / campaign, right? I'm
Black Ops 2, Black Ops 2, I enjoyed everything, but definitely played Town religiously.
Okay. So, but this is, the first time, me, my first things always go straight to zombies. Whereas Dan's probably first, either campaign or multiplayer. And then maybe zombies, depending on the game. I
was going to say, I did campaign, touched zombies, saw skill-based matchmaking, and said, zombies, please. That was my first thought. I was like, there's no skill-based matchmaking in zombies.
So, if we had to rank this, it's been, 2 weeks since the game's been out?
The game launched, I want to... Let's say, a week and a half. Let's
So at the
go
day
with
of us
that as a
recording
decent.
this video, it is November 24th. So we haven't had a ton of time to kind of think about all of this and like get all of the like they haven't had time to like patch things into the ground. So at the time of this, I would honestly rank it in the bottom of A tier. So behind Nocturne Totem right here.
I can agree with that, especially after failing the Easter egg twice because it wouldn't work.
Oh my god, I don't want to talk
Oh
about
my
it. I
god!
forgot about
If
that.
you guys don't know what we're talking about, do you mind leaving a link down below
I
for them to watch
I am gonna
that?
put. There's either gonna be a card up. It'll be right here that you guys can click on, or I'll put it in the description so that way you guys can go watch it. I'll even put a timestamp in there so you guys can watch it. I'll put the 2 timestamps in there from my streams.
Yeah, we tried it twice. One time where we did the whole thing, and one time where we tried to, cheat it,
Cheese
and
yeah.
well,
It didn't work when we cheesed it either.
oops.
So I think that's everything, right?
I believe that is every map, to my knowledge, unless we're not going to count the custom maps because we'll be here
Yeah.
all
We'd be
all
here for
night.
the rest of our lives if we had to do that. But
Oh
anyways,
yes.
guys, that has been our rankings for all the zombies maps. I know this is a long video, and thank you, Dan, for doing this. I would like to do something
fun.
like this with Dan. Like, I'm probably gonna upload this on Wednesday or tomorrow for us. But like Wednesdays, I would do a ranking video with Dan. Mondays, I'll do a solo ranking video by myself, something like that. So I have kind of a schedule that I can go off of. Longer videos, but I think they'll be fun in the long run. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in either my next stream, and if you have not, go subscribe to the man below me, because he does a lot of COD stuff alongside me. We've been doing a lot of games together. We've been doing the Easter egg, so if you guys want to watch a stream, or if you just want Call of Duty news, Dan's your man. Dan the man.
Dan the man with the master plan.
So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.